All right. Good evening, everybody. Welcome. Let's get started in a seat. Okay, so let's go bottoms of the feet together, and then we can do knees wide, kind of that butterfly stretch. So to start, we want it to be a little bit more comfortable. So that might be feet a little bit further away from you, sitting up nice and tall, and then you can just rest your hands on your knees, or maybe just um, right in front of you. Sitting tall, rolling those shoulders down and back, closing down those eyes, lifting through that chin. That's who we're lifting our head up. We just feel that chin is about parallel to the ground. And then just start to breathe in and out through the nose. So at first, just kind of finding the space, finding that calming, relaxing breath. Just making that breath a little bit bigger, really big breath in, filling that lowest part of the lungs, the middle, then all the way up into those collarbones. And exhaling that breath out. Again, big breath in. And exhale. So we'll take that big breath in through the nose. As we exhale, we'll press all of that breath out. So we'll tighten up that core to press that air out, keeping that core tight as we go into that inhale. So a little bit more expansion through that rib cage now because we can't get as much expansion through that belly. And then press out, pull it in, press it out. So it's going to become a little bit more forceful breath, hearing that sound of the breath. Now keep sitting up nice and tall. Find a little twist over to that right side. So left hand comes across that knee, sit really tall on that inhale. Then exhale, see if we can find a little more twist. Let's go over to that other side. You can sit tall. Inhale, exhale, twist. Bring it back to center. Now pull those feet in a little bit closer to you, keeping that tall spine, and then fold. So now we're going into that inner thigh stretch. You can kind of wrap those hands around the toes, or maybe just grabbing onto the ankles, pulling yourself a little bit closer to those feet. Now let's bring it back up. Let's roll over onto those hands and knees and that tabletop. So inhale, drop that belly, lift the chest, lift the tailbone as we look up. Exhale, we'll round that spine, press the shoulder blades away, draw that belly up and in. Again, inhale, drop the belly, lift the chest, lift the tailbone, look up. Exhale, round. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, round. Last one, inhale, lift. Exhale, round. Inhaling into that neutral spine, we're going to send that right leg straight back, flex through that foot, point those toes down. That left arm is going to reach forward. Exhale, curl it and pull that elbow and draw that knee and squeeze it together. Inhale, reach it out. Exhale, curl it and squeeze. Inhale, reach. Last time, curl it and squeeze. Inhale, reach out. Now we're going to pulse it. So lifting the arm and the leg, keeping that core tight back flat. Here we go. We're going to lift for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower the hand, lower the knee. Other side, send that left leg back, right arm reaches forward. Exhale, curl it and squeeze. Inhale, send it out. Exhale, curl. Inhale, reach. Last time, curl it in. Inhale, reach it back out and lift for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower it down. Maybe giving it some sways from side to side. Maybe some movements through the cat-cow. Maybe even coming into a child's pose. Whatever you feel like you need And then go ahead and step those feet back to our plank and send those hips up to the sky, downward facing dog. Really lifting through those hips, pressing those heels down. And then we'll come on the toes. Bend those knees, step those feet up top of the mat. Half lift on that inhale. And exhale, slide those hands down as we fold. Slight bend into those knees, flatten out that back, rise up to standing, reach it up really tall, pressing the hips forward, arms are reaching back, and then exhale it straight back down to that forward fold. Half lift on that inhale, and exhale, we'll plant those hands, stepping those feet back to our plank, dropping the heels to the right, left arm reaches up, one time, thread that arm through, inhale it back up, bring to our front plank, over to the other side, right arm reaches up, thread that arm through. Inhale, come back up. Front plank, shift the weight forward, lower down. Inhale, lifting that chest so into that cobra, or you can press up into that up dog depending on what that spine's feeling. And then exhale, sending those hips up and back, down dog. One more breath. And inhale on the toes. Bend those knees, step those feet, top of the mat. Inhale in, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, we'll rise. Reach those arms up tall, press hips forward, and then exhale. Come right back down to a forward fold. Inhale that half lift. Exhale, plant the hands, step or hop those feet back to our plank. Side plank over to the right, left arm up, and thread it through twist. Inhale it up, back to our front plank, over to the side. As that right arm reaches up, thread it through. Inhale it up, front plank and vinyasa. Exhaling the hips to the sky, down dog. Another few breaths in our down dog, and we got this one more time. And then on the toes. Bend those knees, step or hop those feet, top of the mat. Half lift, inhale. And exhale, fold. Inhale, we'll rise, reaching it up tall. Exhale, bring it back down. Half lift, inhale. Exhale, plant the hands, step or hop those feet back to our plank. Side plank to the right, left arm up. Thread it through. Inhale it up to the front and over to the left. Oops, right arm up. Thread, back up, I see it. I'm coming. There we go. And then making your way into that vinyasa. And exhaling those hips to the sky, downward facing dog. And now inhale on the toes. Bend those knees. We're going to step those feet to the hands, toes together to touch, finding that half lift. And exhale, fold. Now from here, we're going to sit those hips down really, really low, sweeping those arms forward and up. So we're coming into as low of a chair as you feel like you can possibly sit into, maybe even trying to get those thighs parallel to the ground. So those knees will have to come forward a little bit as those hips sit back so you don't fall. Relax those shoulders, reach to those fingertips, feel it in those legs, and then straighten those legs as we fold. Maybe give it a little bit of a sway from side to side. And then we'll inhale, rise back up, standing tall, and now sink down into our chair, but it can be a little bit higher. Hands will come to heart center. We'll twist it over to that right side. We'll come back to center. Twist it over to that left side. Bring it back to center. Reach those arms up. Straighten the legs full. Half lift, inhale, and plant those hands. Step or hop those feet back. Side plank will go one time. Thread it under. Inhale it up. Other side. Reach up. Thread it through. Bring it back up. Hands down. And vinyasa. Exhaling it to down dog. Feet together. Inhale, that right leg lifts. Exhale, curl that knee to the nose. Inhale, bring it back up. Exhale, curl it in. Inhale, reach it up. And curl that knee in, stepping that foot through. Inhale, reaching both arms up overhead. We'll come into our high crescent lunge. Bend that front knee, keeping that back leg a little bit straighter, or as straight as you can keep that leg without putting a big arch into that low back. Then we'll bring those hands to heart center, hover that chest, and then twist that elbow across that thigh. One more breath. And then inhale, reach those arms back up into that crescent lunge. Lower those hands to the mat, send that leg back, Vinyasa. And exhale, down dog. Feet together. We'll inhale that left leg up. Exhale, curl that knee in. Inhale it up. Exhale, curl it in. Inhale, reach it up. And exhale, curl it and step that foot through. Inhaling those arms up. Core tight. And so notice if you're really arched, we want to scoop that tailbone down, scoop that rib cage down. So we'll feel a really big stretch that front of that hip flexor when we do so. Now bring those hands to heart center, hover that chest, and twist. Right elbow across that thigh. Press into those palms, core tight. Look over that elbow. Then we'll inhale those arms back up into that crescent lunge. And lower the hands down. Step that foot back to our plank. Vinyasa. And exhale, downward facing dog. And inhale on the toes. Bend those knees, step or hop those feet, top of the mat. Toes good to touch, find that half lift. And fold. Now hips really low, reaching those arms forward and up. Try to sit those hips even lower than we did that first time. And straighten the legs as we fold. Inhale, we'll rise on up to standing. Exhale, sink those hips down into more of a normal chair. Hands to heart center. Twist it over to that right side. Bring it to center. Twist it over to that left side. Bring it back to center. Reach those arms up. Straighten legs as we fold. Half lift, inhale. And plant the hand step or hop those feet back. Come right into side plank to the right. Thread it under. Inhale it back up. Front plank to the left, right arm up. Thread it. Inhale it up to the front and exhale it down. Inhale, lift that chest. Exhaling, hips to the sky. Down dog. Feet together. Inhale, that right leg lifts. Exhale, curl that knee in. Inhale it back up. Exhale, curl it in. Inhale, reach it up. And exhale, curl that knee and step that foot through. Inhale, reaching those arms up into that crescent lunge. Hands come to heart center as we twist. Left elbow across that right knee. Inhale, both arms will reach up. And now we'll keep those arms reaching up overhead as we hover that chest. And then lift that back leg up into that warrior three. Now exhale, curl that knee and draw the elbows back. Inhale, send that leg out. Exhale, curl it in. Inhale, reach it out. Last time, curl that knee in. Reach it out and back. Crescent lunge. Lower the hands down to the mat. Send it back to our plank. Vinyasa. And exhaling it to down dog. And feet together. Inhale that left leg up. Exhale, curl that knee in. Inhale it back up. Exhale, curl it in. Inhale it back up. Exhale, curl that knee and step that foot through. Inhaling those arms up into our lunge. Hands come to heart center, hover the chest as we twist. And then inhale, reach those arms up, but reaching tall through those fingertips. Hover that chest, lifting that right leg up. Now exhale, rolling that knee and draw the elbows back. Inhale, reach it out long. Exhale, curl it in. Inhale, reach it out. Last one, curl that knee in. Extend it back out. Big step back, arms are reaching up. And lower those hands down. Step it back to our plank, Vinyasa. And exhaling, let's bring those hips back to the heels. Really quick child's pose, just a breath or two here. Ready to come back onto hands and knees. Stepping it back to our plank. And vinyasa, not vinyasa, down dog. If you even want a vinyasa move, perfectly fine. Inhale on the toes. Bend those knees, step or hop those feet, top of the mat. Bringing those big toes together to touch. Again, inhale. We're gonna come up to standing and sink those hips down into that chair. Bringing the hands to heart center, we're gonna twist it over to that right side. Looking down at those big toes. We're gonna lift that left heel up. We send that leg straight back into that prayer lunge twist. Okay, keep looking at that right toe. Step the feet back into that chair. Step it back into the lunge. Bring it back to chair. Last time, step that foot back into our lunge. Pause it here. Inhaling those arms back up. Crescent lunge. Hover that chest, reaching that left leg back, lifting through that heel, reaching through the fingers. Curl that knee in. Reach the arms in. Extend out long. Exhale, curl. Inhale, reach it back out. Let's do one more. Curl it in. Reach it back out. Big step back, crescent lunge. And then we'll spin that back heel down. Tee out those arms into that warrior two. So we can tight through that core, strong through those legs, strong through those arms. And do one more breath, sink it down. And we'll interlace those fingers behind the back, open that chest, turning towards that front knee a little bit more. And fold. And release. Rise back up to that warrior two. Straighten that front leg, flip that palm, reach it up and back. And we'll circle those hands all the way down to the mat. Send it back to our plank, vinyasa. And exhale, down dog. And we'll come onto the toes. Bend those knees, step or hop those feet, top of the mat. Toes together to touch, find that half lift. And fold. Rise to standing. And sink those hips down to our chair. Hands will come to heart center. We'll twist it over to that left side. Looking down at your toes, we're gonna lift that right heel up. Now step that leg back into that lunge. Keep holding that twist. Okay, bring those feet back into our chair and step the foot back. Okay, bring it back to our chair and step it back. Hold it here. We'll inhale those arms up, coming into that crescent lunge. Keep extending those arms up as we hover the chest. Lift that back heel up. Curl that knee and draw the elbows in. Inhale, reach. Exhale, curl. Inhale, reach. Last one, curl it in. Reach it back out. Big step back, reaching those arms up. Then we'll spin that back heel down, teeing out those arms into that warrior two. Really strong, gripping the toes, lifting through the arches. Pressing that left knee out slightly. Now interlace those fingers, open up that chest, slight twist, and fold. And rise back up, re-tee out those arms. Straighten that front leg, flip that palm, reach it up and back. Circle those arms all the way down. Step it back to our plank, moving in through your vinyasa, slipping it all together, moving into down dog. One more breath. And then we'll come onto the toes. Bend those knees, step or hop those feet, top of the mat. Toes together to touch, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, we'll rise to standing, reach it up tall. Exhale, sink the hips down to our chair. Twist it over to that right side. Looking at those toes, we're gonna lift the left heel, step that foot back. Bring it back to chair. Step it back, lunge. And chair. And lunge. And chair. And might have thrown in an extra. Here we go. Step it back to our lunge. Big twist, look over that shoulder. Then inhale those arms up. That exhale will hover that chest, lifting that back leg up. Exhale, curl it in. Inhale, reach it out. Curl and reach. Curl and reach. Big step back into that crescent lunge. Then we'll make our way into our warrior two. Interlace those fingers, open that chest. as we fold. And inhale, rise back up, straighten that front leg, reverse it. Now we'll re-tee out the arms. Bend into that front knee. Okay. We're gonna reach that right hand forward. Lower that hand down a couple of inches in front of that foot. And we're gonna float that left leg up into that half knee balance. Okay, so maybe even lifting the right hand off of the mat. And now we're gonna add a little rotation to this. So we're gonna start to bring our, squaring those hips off, okay? Squaring our shoulders off. So bringing our, left hand down towards the mat. Hips will level out now. And now start to twist, reaching that right arm up, lifting through that right heel. Now big step back, hold that twist, okay, as we're in that lunge with a twist now. Then we'll reach that left arm up, right hand grabs onto that back hamstring. Circle those arms all the way down. Step it back to our plank. Vinyasa. Take a breath. And we'll come onto the toes. Bend those knees, step or hop those feet, top of the mat. Toes together to touch. And exhale, fold. Inhale, rise. And sink those hips down to that chair. Bring those hands to heart center. We're going to twist it over to that left side. Okay, looking at those toes, we're going to lift that right heel up. Big step back into that lunge. Step it forward, chair. Back into the lunge. Forward to our chair. Step it back to lunge. Let's one more time. Forward to chair. Last time. Big step back. Holding that twist. And then we'll reach those arms up overhead into that crescent lunge. Spinning. Oop, I forgot a part. We're going to hover that chest, lifting that back leg up. Exhale, curl it in. Inhale, reach it out long. Exhale, curl. Inhale, reach. Last time, curl it in. Reach it back out. Now we're in our crescent. Back heel spins down into our warrior two. Interlace those fingers behind the back. Open up through that chest and fold. Inhale, rise back up. Release those arms, straighten that front leg, reverse it. And we'll re-tee out those arms. Just rebending into that front knee, reaching that left hand forward. Lower that hand down as that right leg lifts, right arm reaches up, trying to open up through that hip a little bit more. One more breath. Now, starting to bring that right hand down towards the mat, square off the shoulders, squaring off that hip. Keep lifting through that right heel, and then we'll twist. The left arm is going to reach up. And now holding that twist, big step back into that lunge. So that right hand is forward, left arm is back, and then reverse it. Right hand reaches up, left hand reaches for that hamstring. And then we'll circle those arms all the way down and step it back to plank vinyasa. And exhaling those hips to the sky, downward facing dog. Few breaths in down dog. And on the toes. Bend those knees, step those feet up, top of the mat. Toes together, touch, half lift on that inhale. And exhale, fold. Just let that head hang here for a moment. Big stretch to the hamstrings. Also kind of relax the head, the arms, the shoulders. And now inhale, we're gonna rise up to standing, reaching those arms up. Exhaling those hands to heart center. Sink the hips down into that chair. Then we're gonna twist it over to that right side. Looking at those toes. Lifting that left heel up. Now we're gonna try and send that leg straight back without lowering the toes down quite yet. So lift that foot, press through that heel, try and keep it hovered. Now step it back, find the balance in that lunge. Hold another breath. And inhale, we'll reach those arms up. Exhale, bending to that front knee, hovering that chest, lifting that back leg out. Okay, now squatting, so a little multitasking here. So instead of just hugging that knee in, drawing the elbows back, we're gonna squat down, crunch it in. So it's like we're trying to come into a teeny tiny little ball, extend it out long. Exhale, curl in. So bend that right knee and the left knee, trying to touch that knee to the calf. Inhale, reach it out. Last time, curl it in, crunch into that teeny tiny ball. Inhale, reach it out, hold. And then take that step back, coming into a warrior one stance now. So the back heel is down, toes are angled out just slightly, bending into that front knee, core is nice and tight. Now straighten that front leg, reach the hands forward as we fold into our pyramid, lengthening out through that spine. And then we'll plant those hands down, step it back to our plank, Vinyasa. And exhaling those hips to the sky, downward facing dog. Come on toes, bend the knees, step those feet, top of the mat. And toes together to touch. Half lift. And exhale, fold. Inhale, rise up. And sink those hips down into that chair. Bringing those hands to heart center, twisted over to that left side. So again, looking down at those toes, we're gonna lift that right heel up. Okay, now try and extend that leg straight back without lowering it down. So stay in that kind of that single leg squat, reaching through that right heel, and then take that big step back into that lunge. Inhale, those arms will reach up. Good, now bend that front knee a little bit more as we hover that chest, lifting that right heel up. Now again, we're gonna lunge or squat into that left leg, pull the elbows back towards you, bringing that right knee towards that, kind of trying to get as low as you can on that left calf. Inhale, extend it out long. Exhale, curl it in. Inhale, reach it out. Last time, curl it in. Inhale, extend it out, hold. One more breath. And then we lower those hands down, stepping those feet back. Oh, no, we're not. Sorry, warrior one stance with those feet. Good, so hips square off, back heel is down, right toes are turned out slightly. Right or left hip pulls back, right hip pulls forward. And straighten that front leg. Reach those hands forward as we fold. So hands on the ground, chin, maybe all the way up to the knee, wherever you can be to get that good stretch. Also keep that back nice and flat. And then plant those hands, step it back to plank, Vinyasa. And exhaling those hips back to those heels into that child's pose. Good, now let's lift up slightly. We're gonna walk our knees over. So we're gonna come into that frog pose. Okay, so bringing those knees out as wide as you can. If you're on a carpet or a rug or something, you can stay facing the regular edge of your mat, but if you're on a harder surface, you might wanna go the long edge. Okay, so you can have your toes pointing out in opposite directions, heels in line with those knees, okay, or you can angle those toes back towards you, wherever is feeling better. On those inner thighs, it's gonna be a big stretch in either way, but certain positions you feel like you can kind of sit into it a little bit more and you feel like you're getting a more productive stretch. Sometimes it just gets to be a little bit too much. So feel it out, see what's working for you. Keeping that core nice and tight, pressing those hips back. And let's slowly make your way out of it. And then we'll come on to your backs. You're just hugging those knees into the chest. Give it a little rock from side to side. Now let's cross that right ankle over that left thigh. We'll grab onto that hamstring. Or maybe you can reach for that shin. Keep that tailbone down, chest lifted, flexing into that right foot as we hug that knee in a little more. And let's lower that foot down. Keep that ankle crossed over. You feel go out or take out those arms. And then drop the knees over to that right side. Then bring it back to center, switch sides. We'll cross that left ankle over. And we'll grab onto that right hamstring or that right shin. And flexing that left foot, lifting through the chest. We want that spine to be nice and flat on the mat. And we'll lower that foot down. Feel go out, those arms or tee them out. And then drop the knees over to that left side. And bring it back up. We're going to uncross it. Hugging those knees in. And we'll round that spine, bringing the forehead to the knees, extending those legs out. Reach those arms overhead. That full body stretch. And we'll exhale those arms down by the sides. Palms will face up. Shoulder blades will walk together. You bring those feet a little bit wider, maybe the arms a little bit wider. Big breath in through the nose. And exhale, sigh it out. Just letting yourself completely relax and rest for the next couple minutes. And begin to deepen your breath. Just gently begin to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Reaching those arms overhead. Again, that big stretch from the fingers down through those toes. And curl those knees into the chest and gently roll it on over to that right side. That right arm supports the head, left arm just falls in front, completely resting on your side. And then gently press it back up into that seat. Eyes remain closed, just sitting up nice and tall. And take that big breath in. And exhale, sigh it out. One more time, big breath in. Exhale it out. All right, linking those eyes open. Thank you all so much for joining. Have a great evening. And hopefully I'll see you back here tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. for another all levels 25-minute class. All right, thanks guys.